What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rant, no hate. So, I want to talk about an upcoming heavyweight fight between Joyce and Zheli Zhang. I like this fight. I think that this is a fight where it's gonna Joyce is the favorite, and it's gonna keep him busy. Now, I'm not overlooking Zheli Zhang. Joyce should be able to handle him. He should be. Things do happen in fights. Two big guys, two guys that like to bang and just dish it out. So who can take it the most? And you're gonna have to have some kind of smarts in there too. I mean, just taking big shots is not smart for anyone. Okay, but stylistically, it should be an action-packed fight. And for people that's saying, but Zheli Zhang ain't ready. He's not. Zheli Zhang is 39 years old, man. I mean, I remember watching the Philip Urkovich fight with Zheli Zhang, and I clearly felt like Zhang won that fight. Clearly, I don't know what those judges were smoking, but there's no way that Urkovich won that fight. No way. So for people to say that, well, how come he's fighting the loser? Joyce is just a step down. He's fighting the loser. He's fighting the winner that got robbed, basically. And so he's 39 years old. Joyce is 37. Neither one of them are spring chickens in terms of boxing. So when you just see what they both bring to the table, I think it should be an interesting fight. Whether it go 12 rounds, whether it goes the distance, 10 rounds, whatever, whether it's stopped, it's a KO, whatever, it should be an entertaining fight for as long as it lasts. And I think that with Joyce, staying busy, I'm pretty sure he'd much rather be fighting Usyk, for a title or Tyson Fury. But I think this is a good fight. And it's funny because it's always when somebody has a different opponent that they get ready to fight, people bring up other things. And I was watching this interview I saw where basically Joyce, because I was pretty much looking to do some boxing news on this fight, and there was an interview with Joyce where Daniel Dubois made the comment that he didn't really get beat, by Joyce. It was like it wasn't that bad of a beating or whatever. And Joyce said, if I didn't beat him that bad, why'd he take a knee and quit? And see, this is the thing where I don't know if Daniel Dubois is saying what he said basically to try to reroute to get back on that collision course with, Joyce in a rematch, or if it was just him just talking. Because at the end of the day, it's like that kind of comment, it really just sounds really stupid. Now true, he was in that fight, and I don't remember who was ahead, but it was, they were neck and neck. It was a close fight, but to say that he didn't get beat up that bad, I get it. But you got beat up enough in your eye that you couldn't continue. So what Daniel Dubois was basically saying was, it's not like he was getting his ass kicked, getting punished. He was getting hit with the jab over and over, and his eye basically had a bad situation. Well, no, you wasn't bruised up and bleeding bad and all that, but your eye was damaged. The reality is, this type of stuff, if it starts brewing up, it's to start trying to build interest. I don't know that that's what's happening, but right now the important thing is Joyce versus Zheli Zhang. So Joyce has been busy. He's been saying a lot about Anthony Joshua. He's been talking about a whole lot of stuff, man. I don't want to say he's looking past Zheli Zhang, but they're talking like it's like not just so much of a confident thing, but kind of like they just feel like they're gonna walk through Zheli Zhang. Only time to tell. We'll see come fight night what happens. But I like this fight, and what I say is this: for Joe Joyce, right, to be in the same stable as, have the same promoters, you know, Dubois, and have the same promoter as Tyson Fury. There's no excuse, no reason why he shouldn't be able to get in the fight with Tyson Fury, right? There's no reason why, he couldn't get a rematch with Dubois. I think because of his age and his lack of popularity, that it's more like, okay, I can make money off of him, putting him in the ring with other guys, but I don't want to put him in there with Fury or Dubois. Not right now. It's other ways, other fights to pull money in. Because I feel like Fury is they don't want to put Fury in there with just, with just any threat. Because then that will kill any potential big fights. But then when you look at it, we already seen him destroy Deontay Wilder. Hardly anybody think that Anthony Joshua is mentally ready to go in there and beat Fury, which we don't know, but they feel like that. So he already beat Dillian White, right? So when you look at who's left, would you rather see him fight Joe Joyce or Usyk? Or you want to see him fight Wilder again? Or wind up fighting somebody like Efe Ajagba? And, if, like I said in my last video, that it's true, if it's true that they're trying to, and this came from Bob Arum, they're trying to mandate a fight between Andy Ruiz and Fury for the summer. If that's true, I think he'll beat Ruiz. So when you look at the options of who's left out there to where you really care about seeing Tyson Fury fight these guys, well, Tyson Fury's at the point of, who can I fight? What dance partner can I have that's going to generate the most money? And this is where pretty much where these guys, their heads are. So when you look at it, always understand, everybody is not going to be satisfied by what happens in boxing. And there's always going to be more and more and more. It was funny because I was sitting there and I was just watching the fight with Daniel Dubois, the last fight he had. Now, you know how people said Anthony Joshua had a terrible performance against Franklin, which I didn't think was a terrible performance at all. It's, like I said, it wasn't his best performance. And he knows that, and so does Derek James know that. But he got the win, and it looked easy. But I said, what happened to Daniel Dubois? What if that would have happened to Anthony Joshua? That he went down 3 times, and then basically, even if he got up to stop the guy, they would have basically said AJ had no business getting dropped by a guy of that caliber. And then 2, he beat the guy he was supposed to beat him, but he showed you weaknesses. So, Anthony Joshua wants to look spectacular. Tyson Fury wants to be protected, and I don't know what Tyson Fury wants. And I'm sick of hearing about Saudi this, Saudi that, all these other places. Him and Frank Warren both said they're not the only places that we can go and get money. See, this is what I've been telling you guys. He's not the star he think he is. So my whole thing is, if we're gonna, put fights together based on I'm trying to give my fighter the advantage, versus, no, we just want the best to fight the best, it's going to be issues until, if it's possible, and right now it's looking like Usyk may be that guy, that if you have a champion that's going to be honest and say, man, listen, this is boxing. This is what I do for a living, and I want to fight nothing but the best fighters. And that fighter has to be one hell of a draw. No matter who he's fighting, he's a draw, because the powers that be don't want fights to, happen that easy. They really don't. So, they pick and choose. But yeah, like I was saying, what if Anthony Joshua would have went through that? What would y'all have said about Anthony Joshua then? If you think his performance against Franklin was bad, what would you have been saying if he'd have been dropped like that? Let's just the same exact way that what happened with Dubois. Let's say it was AJ instead of him. But you notice how they said for Dubois, hey, give him credit. He got up and he knocked the guy out. And I agree. But they wouldn't have said that if that was AJ. They would have said AJ had no business getting dropped by a guy like that in the first place. So, just saying. And, we're looking at with Fury, and fallouts with those fights that are happening. And I don't want to be reporting rumors, man. Like, and I keep hearing all different things, that all this nonsense about Usyk fighting. Look, Usyk fighting Wilder, and he ducked Tyson Fury and all this nonsense. We know that that's not the way it went down. But I'll say, the way things are going in the division right now, we're really no further than we were when Anthony Joshua had the belt and Wilder had the belt. Why? Because we still haven't got those fights. And then two, it's clear that Usyk right now is the only one that cares about undisputed. And I think, Anthony Joshua feel like, okay, the weight of the world is off his shoulders now, because, mandatories and having to, deal with so much. And isn't it funny that when Anthony Joshua was unified champion, he had mandatories. Wilder had two weak-ass mandatories in Berman Stavern and a washed-up Dominic Brazil. But it never hit you guys, and you don't wonder why Fury has never had a mandatory. He's just holding that belt, but he has no mandatories. So, it's strategic. Let's protect him. Let's keep him from getting there with, someone that could possibly beat him. There's no reason for him to not fight Anthony Joshua, for him to not fight Usyk. So again, like I said, regardless to what these fans are saying, these fanboys are saying, it's obvious the fighters know that, their opponent is tougher than what the fans are saying. So you don't see them jumping in the ring trying to fight him. And, all this stuff about, AJ shouldn't fight Fury or Wilder right now, man. Stop that Wilder shit. Stop that. He is going to have to be mentally ready to fight Fury, simply because, Fury, he basically is going to pose a bigger threat. Wilder has just the right hand. You think Wilder could actually outbox Anthony Joshua? The thing is with Anthony Joshua is, if he don't let his hands go the way he's supposed to, yeah, he could lose to several people if he going in half-ass it. But I'm not sold on this Wilder stuff. Wilder got the right hand, but Anthony Joshua got the power to knock him out as well. You understand? And I think Anthony Joshua just feels more comfortable fighting these tall guys anyway. He actually, it came out of his own mouth. But you have to be ready to go with whoever you get in the ring with. Can't accept the fight and then, sit there and why hold back? Why go in there and start second-guessing yourself and doubting yourself? So, in that sense, the difference between him and Wilder's confidence could be a deciding factor, but I'm not sold on that. I think Anthony Joshua still knocks out Wilder. Wilder, people talking like Wilder's some master boxer. No, you already know what Wilder's doing. From the very first round, jab right hand. You already know that right hand is coming. But, just saying, you look at the heavyweight landscape, and with the fighters that's there, it's really honestly not much to pick from in terms of having real interest. So, anyways, with all that being said, Joyce has had a good showing against Joseph Parker, so, I'm looking forward to him having a good fight with Zheli Zhang, and we'll see what happens from there. But, they're not doing much of anything for Joe Joyce. And to look at where he is in his career right now, it's like, bro, 37. Never been world champion. Never been a heavyweight champion. Never had the shot yet. The clock is ticking. So, I'm more interested to see what happens with Joe Joyce from this point on. He's, like I said, he is the favorite to get Zheli Zhang. You never know what can happen, though. So, it's more, for me, more of an interest to see what's his next opponent. Who's his next opponent going to be? Because, truthfully, like I said, and I'll say it again, I believe They're trying to protect Tyson Fury. And they're not going to put him in there with a guy like Joyce. And that's just my opinion. Anyway, tell me who y'all got in the comment section. You think Zheli Zhang poses a real threat? You think it's going to be competitive, but Joyce is going to pretty much wind up winning the fight? How does he win? Does he knock him out? Does he cut him up real bad? The ref stops it because he's taking too much of a beating? Does it go the distance? Let me know in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.